everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com. I am back with something I have been working on and the lovely team at BeadingSchool has as well for several months in the making. So it's one of these things that I'm especially happy to share because just like the Moonlit Terrace box that I put together with them back in the fall, they invited me back to curate another box for them for the springtime. And it's hard to believe that day is finally here. This box that I have in front of us is a little bit different than the one you'll get as far as what the outer packaging looks like because I got one of the slightly earlier prototypes and the contents are really what we're after, but I just wanted to share that. With your order, you'll get a little free gift. So I have this package of light pink drucks next to the box. That's what that is for. The theme that I went with for this one is called Cherry Blossom Festival, and where I live in the Mid-Atlantic area, around the late March, early April time of year, I'm often reminded of cherry blossoms. We have a beautiful cherry blossom festival located near us. To the north in Washington, D.C., there's a whole history on that, and it's a really big deal in that location. And of course, we also have them blooming in central Virginia as well, and throughout many parts of the US and the world, of course. Those of you who see them in bloom know how gorgeous they are. So that was kind of the color palette and inspiration for the theme. The box is currently at its sale price of 79 euros, which is probably close to the late 80s or $90 mark in US dollars. Everything's converted there for you. They do ship internationally anywhere in the world. And no matter what currency you use, that will be converted for you automatically at checkout, so it's super easy. And of course, there's a limited number of these boxes. They were able to put together more than Moonlit Terrace since that one went so well. So if you missed out on that one, just know that these are limited too, but hopefully won't sell out as quickly if you want to get your hands on one. So of course, let's go ahead and get into this. That's the exciting part. And just like Moonlit Terrace, I will have at least 4 tutorials coming in succession after this unboxing to go along with the contents. All right, so here is the initial peek at our box. You can see, as usual, they have included a ton of different items, full to the brim here, packed nice and neat. We're going to look at everything one at a time, so I'm going to get organized and bring you each of these little baggies up close. Also, be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to show you those pieces that are completed from the box to give you a preview and examples of some of the things that can be made from the contents, and you still have a ton of beads left to work with even after those. But let's start with the focals and especially what's in this special box right here. We have another L2 Studio handmade cabochon in a very unique shape and finish. These are really special because they are handmade in small batches and the craftsmanship is gorgeous. Let's take a look at this piece up close. And here's the focal that I chose this time around. I try to go with a shape that is very unique and maybe a little bit more complicated for these focals. Kind of like the last time I went with the Galaxy Oval that was just really different. Wanted to go with something other than something basically round or just an oval shape. So I picked out this trapezoid and I thought the colors of this finish just really embodied a lot of the colors that I wanted to see in this collection with the different shades of pink and some speckles of darker colors, brownish, and even some casts of maybe deep olive green. Here's a look at the side of the pendant so you can get a full look at what it all looks like from every angle. And you'll get to see the example of how I bezeled this and created a bail, and I'll be coming back with a tutorial for that. And these, by the way, retail alone for 20 euros just by themselves. Next up, I have some crystals. This is a bag containing 14mm round glass cabs. These have the lotus flower etched inside, and the color is called Paradise Shine. These are a newer item to BeadingSchool, and I was really excited to be able to incorporate these, especially in this beautiful Paradise Shine. It's got a golden cast to it, but also kind of has that AB finish, so when the light is shining on it, you get all different colors that are shining back at you, and they are faceted just so beautifully. They've got that almost floral-like geometric shape inside, and then there is a look at the side and a look at the back. So I'll have a pair of earrings coming to show you which incorporate these beautiful stones also. Next up are some 12mm Preciosa cushion cuts in light peach. Aren't these stunning? I really wanted to incorporate a little bit of peach in this color palette. I didn't want to go with a whole lot of pink in the sense that I didn't want to make the whole box just different shades of pink. I wanted to bring in other colors that also look beautiful with it, that you also might see pop up in different types of cherry blossoms and different parts of the bloom. So you can see these cushion cuts have that rounded square-like shape. They're beautifully faceted like we expect. There's a look at the back of that stone. Going along with those, I picked out some 8mm Preciosa Rivolis in the rose color. So we're bringing in this rosy pink with these sparkly, gorgeous Preciosa, very small Rivoli stones. You often see these in the chitons. This time these have that pointed top that you see in the Rivolis, also that pointed base, and I'll be showing you a bracelet design that will incorporate 5 of these beauties. Last, for the different types of cabochons, I have some 8mm Preciosa nacre cabs in the light cream rose color. And here they are, just perfect, imitating pearls beautifully. They have those different layers of the nacre or mother of pearl material. They get that really beautiful satin-like and classic light pearl finish. Up next, I have some of these 5x16mm daggers. These are a 2-hole dagger, by the way, in luster opaque topaz pink. Some of the designs that I have to share are, of course, cherry blossom inspired or flower inspired in general. So when I think of beaded floral designs, I automatically think of the check glass daggers. Of course, I love the luster opaque topaz pink, or sometimes called rose gold variety, with the different shades of pink and that slightly golden luster that they have over the top, and the 2 holes that offer that extra stability when putting them together in a bead weaving design. And going along with that, we've got some 2.5x6mm mini daggers. These are in luster opaque rose gold topaz as well. They just have a overall different look because they are so small, and they have a bit more of a peachy pink cast to them. And here's a closer look so you can see these kind of mottled light peachy pink mini daggers. The hole there at the top, they taper off to a smaller size there at the bottom. So they're great for using for fringe or even an accent with larger dagger beads. Next up for 2-hole beads, we have some Miyuki half tielas in the Picasso opaque seafoam green. I wanted to bring in a little pop of that bright aqua blue, toned down with some of that mossy green, of course giving us that sort of sky blue color if you're looking up through the cherry blossom branches. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Picasso finish, giving us a look of a glass bead that's a little bit more stone-like or has a little bit more interest that you can combine with other maybe solid color beads. And of course, Miyuki tielas are a fantastic, very precise 2-hole rectangular bead, which are one of my favorites to work with. Next up is a bag containing the 4x6mm mini gem duos in jet bronze. Bringing in some of our trunk or branch color in the deep brown for these metallic bronze mini gem duos, just like the regular gem duos, just smaller. And of course you can see the diamond shape that they have with the holes that run through either side, parallel through the bead. Next up, I have a bag of the Miyuki quarter tielas. These are, of course, like it says, a quarter of the size of a regular tiela. So these are little slivers, smaller than the half tielas that we took a look at. These are in the light rose luster variety, so this sort of transparent peachy tone. And here these are, very glossy with that hint of peach and adding a bit of a crystal sheen. And last for our 2-hole beads, we have some 5 by 8 mm Vexolos in the alabaster green luster. So these really aren't very green, besides just having the very slightest hint of a green in that alabaster coating. You can see the different earthy tones showing up in these beads. These are like a wedge shape with a flat bottom and a beveled edge. And again, we have that finish, which makes these look a little bit more earthy and stone-like. Up next, I have a bag containing the 3 mm light apatite beads. These are genuine gemstones, and they are slightly faceted. So here we go, bringing just a little bit more of this aqua color that would go well with the half tealas in particular. If you wanted to include those colors together, you can see how just slightly sparkly they are as I move them under the light, catching those facets, and you get the different shades of the beautiful color that show up in these genuine stones. Next, I have some 4 mm Preciosa round pearls in pearlescent cream. These look beautiful with the cream rose cabs that we have down there and bring some extra pearl options to the contents. I also wanted to bring in an extra size. I like to mix up the shapes and sizes of these contents to make it a little easier to put different things together just from one box. So these bring us yet another size of the rounds in the 4 mm, and you can see these are very neutral and have just the slightest iridescence to them. Up next are some 2 mm fire polish beads in luster opaque rose gold topaz. Course, are our smallest rounds for this box and go very well with those mini daggers in particular. Overall, they have a little bit of a darker, more dulled down pinky color, but you can see that sort of golden finish that they have on top. And then, of course, I had to bring in some Preciosa bicones. So I have a bag of 4 mm size in the rose opal variety. Aren't those opal varieties so beautiful? I love how they have that almost fiery look inside, and these are a beautiful shade of light pink to add another shade of pink to this collection to work with. Up next is some rhinestone cup chain. This is the Preciosa brand in the 2.1 really tiny aqua bohemica in raw setting. I love that really dainty pop of sparkle that is something you can use in different ways, whether it's embroidery or bead weaving projects or something else. And all of these little aqua rhinestones just sparkle away beautifully and add a little bit more aqua to our color palette. Next are some 8 by 15 mm Preciosa pear pearls in cream rose. Here we go. So they will look gorgeous with some of these other pearls that are included, of course, or if you want to incorporate them with the other colors because they are so neutral and they look beautiful as drops. I've used a couple of them in the pair of earrings that I will show you, and they drop off the bottom really elegantly. And of course, I must include seed beads. So we have the Miyuki brand 11 O's in, first of all, the luster opaque rose gold topaz that is on top a beautiful lined, transparent rosy pink. And then below that, of course, we have the Miyuki dark bronze variety, giving us a dark shade of metallic to go along with our palette. We also have the Miyuki Delica beads in the Duracoat galvanized dark steel green, so these will be great to incorporate with some of our beaded bezels around some of our cabochons and other crystals. And you can see how these have that metallic finish and have the beautiful sort of dark olive green color. And then I love including the 15 O's, giving us another size of seed bead to tighten up some of our bezels and to add a little bit more of a dainty seed bead option. So on top we have the Duracoat galvanized magenta, and below that we have the matte metallic olive green. And these have the slightest greenish cast, but overall look like a matte dark bronze. And now as far as other contents besides the beads, I selected some silk ribbon in different colors, and they were able to get their hands on some varieties like this peach. There's also going to be an aqua, perhaps a dark olive green, and then a pink variety. So it's going to be a surprise, the one that you will receive in your box. You'll get to see the aqua one with one of the finished pieces I'll show you in just a moment. But let's take a look at the peach. So here's this one. I just love how the edges are finished. It's got this really light, gauzy, and scrunchy type of feel, and so easy to pop on a beaded pendant and just simply tie this in a bow around your neck. I love the ease of it, especially for spring and summer. The ends sort of taper down. And we looked at all different cording options and things. Just that light, breezy feel. That's really what I was hoping to go with for this particular box. And as far as findings go, we have a few things. First of all, we have this dainty toggle clasp. It's a 12 by 14 millimeter flower clasp with cubic zirconia, and it's gold colored. So there's the toggle bar. It's connected there with the flower loop component. You can see those tiny dots of cubic zirconia rhinestones showing up in the flower, and also one on either side of that bar loop. And we also have some French earring hooks in a leafy variety. These are a 4 by 20 millimeter. And there's that leafy shape, kind of minimal, and it drops down there with a loop that's on the other side for attaching to your beadwork. Also matches the light tone of gold that you see in the flower clasp and in the final pair of post earrings. And here's the final pair. We have some pink flower enameled ear studs in the gold color. Aren't those so cute? So they have that coral peach colored enameling in the petals, that 5-petal design with the gold that is toned down and very smooth with a little crystal rhinestone in the center. So now that we've taken a look at all the contents, let me show you a few example pieces of some things that you can create from the box and things that I'll be coming back for with tutorials in the near future. And here is item number 1, this floral bracelet that incorporates a lot of different things from the box, including those mini daggers and the Preciosa pink rivolis. Also, you can see the pops of aqua coming in from the half telas. We've got different types of seed beads and delica beads. And we also have the dainty toggle clasp at the end. Something else I love about this bracelet is we're going to be making these floral components separately, and they make awesome earrings. You could also put them together in a different way to use them in a necklace design. You could make a single cocktail ring out of one of those, so it's a really versatile type of design. And I didn't have another bracelet that I had come up with yet, so that is why I decided to go ahead and show you this option as a bracelet. Now here's a look at the second piece. This is the one that includes that very special art cabochon, and looked at it in another way, it kind of reminds me of a mermaid's tail. But this top area, this is the triangular bail that is put together with the delica beads and the pink seed beads. Also included a few pops of turquoise from those apatite gemstone beads at the top. And of course you can see the bezel is done in those delica beads, additional pink seeds added back there just for security and tightening that all up. Then you still get a really good look at the craftsmanship of that trapezoid shaped L2 Studio cabochon. So there's a look at the size of the bail. You could definitely use that gauzy silk cord that's included to simply string that on and use that just as it is, or come up with your own beaded rope or chain that you want to pop that onto. This next piece is how I decided to show you that cord in action, and I think this would be beautiful with the peach or the olive green or the pink as well, depending on what color you get. This one, of course, includes the 6th Rivoli stone that was included, as well as some pops of aqua from the half telas, the 2 different sizes of dagger beads woven in, and of course some seed beads and delica beads. And we also will create a round peyote style delica bead bail with some 15-0 seed bead accents around the side, large enough to add a cord like this or something similar. Here's a look at the back of this piece so you can see all of that together. It's nice and secure with the double holes of those large daggers. And then fourth are these floral themed beaded earrings with the pearl drop at the bottom. These incorporate, of course, those lotus crystals, lots of pink seed beads, the pink preciosa bicones, some of the 2mm faceted rounds, and even some of the quarter tilas holding all of these together. You can see also those leaf-shaped findings at the top that are included. And once again, these are one of those items that could stand alone and be used as a gorgeous pendant or some type of other beaded component, another versatile option for this one. There's a little look at the back so you can see those quarter tilas and how they are being used as a part of the base of the structure of that design. And of course, this is wrapping up one of the 4 tutorials I'll be back with in the near future. Not to say there won't be more or more finished pieces from these contents, because there's still a lot more beads to work with. And then on that note, I thought it'd be fun to show you what I still have left to work with from the contents. Even after making all those pieces, you can see there's a lot still here. And I have this one that's actually a work in progress. I'm playing around with how to end this one and whether or not I want to make further beaded components or some type of beaded rope to go around the rest of that. But just another example of something else that might be coming out of what you see here. So that is everything for the Cherry Blossom Festival themed limited edition box that I helped curate with Beading School. I hope you love it as much as I do. I had a blast putting this together, trying to come up with a different palette and theme than I've put together in the past, giving you some springtime vibes and also a springboard for you to come up with your own fun designs based on the contents. I can't wait to see what you create. As a reminder, the link for this subscription is right down below the video, so it'll take you right to it. And it's being offered at a discount right now at 79 euros. Well, that's all I have for now. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think about the theme and the contents and anything else you'd like to say. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share with your other beading friends. Also subscribe while you're here if you haven't already. And be sure to stay tuned for those tutorials and much more to come. Well, that's all I have for today. Until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.